I want to talk about a good soldier. A good soldier. Let's give God glory for his word. A good soldier. A good soldier. In this second letter to his beloved son in the ministry, whom we know as Timothy, Paul the apostle, Paul the senior statesman of the gospel of Jesus Christ, who was no doubt this young man's recruiter, his trainer, his teacher, his leader, his pastor, continues to instruct and educate him to be not only a soldier, but a warrior for Jesus Christ. Timothy, whom we discovered, was stationed, if you will, to the church at Ephesus for a time. It's in his first letter to him that Paul lays out the assignment and what to look out for, how to handle situations that should arise, even in a pastoral capacity. Paul had to spell out for him how to deal with the church, how to deal with its members. He dealt with him on how to organize, how to handle worship meetings. He even dictated to him what the qualifications of the deacons and the elders are. He also wrote in that first epistle to Timothy how to handle church discipline, how to deal with church fights. And then he also spelled out to him in the 12th verse of that 4th chapter of 1 Timothy how to fight the good fight among those folk that don't want to listen to you because of your youth. Are y'all with me? Paul told him in that 12th verse, in that 4th chapter, he says, let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. Paul was trying to get him prepared, trying to get his mind right, letting him know that there are certain things that just come with the territory. And sometimes those things are not pleasant. And I want you to know, my brothers and sisters, when we enlisted in this army of the Lord, when we decided to take on the battle, get on the battlefield and have our flag in battle, there are just some things that come along with the territory. There's some things that we're going to have to deal with that we might not like, might not feel pleasurable, might not tickle our fancy, but you got to deal with them anyhow. Paul told him, even when folk want to downplay you and take advantage of you and discount and discourage you, not listen to you because you're young, envy you because you don't have the same energy or the same enthusiasm, you don't have the same insight that they had. When folk hate to see you coming just because you got a different mindset, you got a different attitude, you got a different approach, you got difference in your aptitude for something that they were passionate about or used to be passionate about years ago. Don't let them knock you off your square. And I'm here to tell you, there's folk in here that will knock you off your square if you let them. Paul said, don't let them despise you. Don't let them take you out the game, because church folk will take you there. And one thing I've discovered about being in the army or any branch of service is that, and this is just from hanging with my daddy and listening to guys around the post talking, and when you watch movies like Red Tails, y'all know the movie about the Tuskegee Airmen, you watch shows like Hacksaw Ridge, you come to understand that sometimes the battlefield is not just out there with the enemy. Sometimes the battlefield come on your own campus, come within your own ranks. We lose a lot of folk due to friendly fire. Some of y'all will catch that on the way home. We are our own assassins sometimes. Are y'all gonna help me? We are our own killers sometimes. And I want you to know you just as dead from friendly fire as you are from the enemy fire. Paul trying to get this young soldier to understand that even when shots are fired, even when they're fired from within, don't respond, don't retaliate, don't return fire. He said, you just keep on being an example. Keep on showing them how to love when they're unlovable. Show them that you can love them in spite of them. Show them the love of God that can look beyond faults and see needs. Are y'all gonna help me? He trying to teach Timothy, Jarrell, how to be the tough line Don. Y'all remember that stuff, the tough line. You may try to throw the dirt on it, but it ain't gonna stick. So now, in our text, in this second letter to this young soldier, Paul is talking to him about personal conduct. And what he's saying, in essence, is, Timothy, I have taught you how to handle the fundamental functions of the office. But now, I gotta prepare you mentally. I gotta prepare you emotionally. By letting you know, first of all, I know you. That's in chapter 1 of 2 Timothy. I know you. I know the stock you come from. I know the pedigree you come from. You're gifted. You have the aptitude, the ability to, and I want you to stir up the gift that lies within you. Don't be afraid to use what you got. Pastor used to say all the time, if you use what you got, you can always get what you need. Are y'all gonna help me here? He says, still the gift. Don't be afraid to use it, because God has not given us a spirit of fear. In other words, God didn't call no cowards. He does not want no coward soldiers. But he did give us power, love, and a sound mind. He gave us the ability to exercise self-control and self-restraint. But sometimes we get those two things mixed up. Just because we can respond, don't necessarily mean we should respond. And I want you to know it takes more strength to reserve yourself. It takes more strength to know when to be quiet than it do to just blurt out stuff. Are y'all gonna help me? I know y'all don't like this kind of preaching, but it's all right. It's all right. He said, don't let folks make you feel ashamed. Don't be ashamed. Don't let folks make you feel guilty and ashamed of the gospel you preach. You gotta hold up a standard. That's what a good soldier will do. Are y'all gonna help me? He says this because in chapter 2, Paul is letting him know that hardness is coming. Are y'all gonna help me? Look at somebody and tell them hardness is coming. Turn to the other neighbor and tell them hardness is here. It's already here. He said it's gonna get treacherous out there for you. It's gonna get perilous out there for you. It's evil out there. It's gonna get hard out there. I tell you, it's gonna get rough. The times that I had to face will be nothing like what still dealing with the same old sin. Call it whatever you want to. Label it however you want to. Children are still disobedient to parents. There's still the alphabet folk, the LGBTQIA, whatever it is. It's still out there running rampant. But I've come to tell you it's the same old sin. Same rejection of God. Same rejection of God's order. Same rejection of God's authority. Same rejection of Jesus Christ. Same anti-Christ movements. It's the same old devil. Using the same old tactics. Telling the same old lies. They're all just dressed up. Are y'all gonna help me? Paul's telling him, just like I told you in my letter to the church in Ephesus. He said, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And be that as it may, you still got to endure the hardness. Are y'all gonna help me? You got to endure the hardness because that's what a good soldier would do. You got to put up with it. You got to deal with it. You got to go through it because guess what? Hard times are here. These are personal issues. These are friendly fire issues. He said hard times are coming. These are those times when you're going to feel isolated by yourself, all by yourself. How many of y'all have ever felt that before? Isn't it strange how you can be in a crowd of people and still feel all alone? You can be surrounded by folk and still feel like you're the only person in the room. Yes, when you find yourself by yourself, friends can turn against you. Times when you got double agents working with you, folk that supposed to be with you, you find out that they're really not with you. Folk that were supposed to stand with you are really trying to step on you. They'd rather tear up the fellowship than to see the fellowship prosper. There'll be times when you think you've lost your own mind. How many of y'all have felt like you'd have lost it? Come on, I ought to have, don't look at me like I'm the only one. Matter of fact, when Reverend said, I need you at Pilgrim, and I said, yeah, I thought I lost my mind. I'm just being transparent. I look at myself in the mirror and like, man, are you crazy? If you know what do you not know that you don't even know what you're walking into when you said yes? There'll be times when you really wonder, do God really care about me? Do God really love me, or do he actually hate me? How many of y'all ever felt like that? This church, be honest. Y'all can be honest. You don't want nobody to know your business, but you're walking around here acting like it. I wonder if God really loves me, or do he actually hate me? Times when you wonder if God is even there because you can't feel him. Don't you know that's why the suicide rate among pastors is so alarming? The statistic is so staggering. Some folk can't make it through the hard places. For whatever reason, they just couldn't make it. Some of them just said they just quit. Some just say, forget it. Instead of saying that other F word, they just say, forget it. Nobody cares. And it literally bothers me when folk that could have actually been a part of the solution decide to be a part of the problem. So obsessed with being right and pushing their agenda that they forget all about God. And they begin to kill the very gift that God gave them, which is the pastor in the process. Paul didn't want to succumb to the madness. He had to warn him that not only will hard times come, but he warned him that there's some hardcore folk that you got to deal with. Look at somebody and tell them hardcore. Don't be discouraged. Timothy, when I tell you in the 3rd chapter of 2 Timothy, he said, don't be naive. There's going to be some difficult times ahead. As the end time approaches, you're going to meet some hardcore folk. You're going to meet people who are self-absorbed, money-hungry, self-promoting, stuck up, profane, contemptuous to their parents, crude, coarse, dog-eat-dog, unbending, slanderers, impulsively wild, savage, cynical, treacherous, ruthless, bloated windbags, addicted to lust, allergic to God. They'll show religion, but they don't have it in them. He says, steer clear of these folk. Stay away from these people. In that 6th verse, he said, these are the kind of people who take smooth talking to themselves, let smooth talking to their homes, and they'll lead away unstable and needy women, taking advantage of them, just like he did in the garden. Are y'all with me? He said they're already depressed by their sinfulness, and they'll take up with every new religious fad that comes around and calls itself the truth. And they get exploited every time. He said, of such, abstain from them. I'm trying to tell you, we living in them days now. We're living in them times now where I was reading a quote the other day. If you ask a woman nowadays to describe a good man, she really describing a slave. Not somebody that's co-equal. Not somebody that will lead and head their house. But they're describing someone that they can domineer and dominate and run over. And I've learned in my almost 46 years of living, don't know a woman that's a woman, what a man she can run over. No man want no woman that'll disrespect him in public, call him everything but a child of God, try to put his pants on and run their household. Don't no man want that. And it's hard to get through to them because they're hardcore. I mean, it's deep down inside. That's why it is important to catch and train them while they're young. We got to train our children while they're young. You got to bend a tree while it's young. He said we got to train up a child in the way that he should go. When it's old, he won't depart from it. He might stray away a little bit. He might get a little beside himself, but he won't stray from it. Are y'all going to help me? We live in a time where social media raising our children and making them hardcore gangsters, hardcore killers, hardcore, yes, homongers. Y'all gonna help me? Making them think that it's all right. I'm almost out of here. So not only is it hard times, not only is it hardcore, but it's also hard-headed folk. Folk that know better. But you can't knock the idea out with a sledgehammer. Folk that been trained up in the way they should go, but they're just so hard-headed. They won't listen to the voice of God. Even throughout the Old Testament, the Lord even describes his people as stiff-necked folk. Are y'all gonna help me? In the 32nd chapter of Exodus, verses 9 and 10 says, and the Lord said unto Moses, I have seen this people a great nation. That's why our folk parents, I thank God for our grandparents, used to tell us all the time, a hard head will make a soft, you know what. Hard head make a soft derriere. Hard head. I'm not doing it to hurt you, but your head is too hard. And I'm going to have to soften something up. Are y'all going to help me? I'm not doing it to hurt you. I'm doing it to help you. What he said at the end, he said, I'll still make them a great nation. But they hard-headed. Yeah. Last, he said, hard-hearted. Jesus told us that, you honor me with your lips, but your heart is far from me. He told us the parable of the sower that had went out and sowed the seeds, and some of those seeds fell on stony ground. Hard to get it through. Hard for them to understand. And we got a lot of folk that's just hard to deal with. And it ain't in their head. It's all the way down in their heart. I remember we used to sing the song as the old church said that I got the love of Jesus down in my heart. And I remember my granddad was saying, no, baby, that ain't all that's in there. Because if it was, you'd act better. If it was, you'd love a little harder. If it was, you'd act like you know who Jesus is. Mama said it in Sunday school. If it was down in there, you'd act like he's your daddy. You look like him somewhere. Are y'all gonna help me? But he told Timothy, as we get ready to get out of here, he told Timothy, he said, in spite of all of this, you're gonna have to endure. It comes with the territory. The stuff that we have to suffer through sometimes, it gets on our nerves, but we don't have to suffer through it because it all comes with the territory. He said, but the only way you can make it through the suffering is if you abide in him. You gotta abide in him. That'll help you as you try to endure it all. Are y'all gonna help me? He told us, he said, I am the vine, ye are the branches. If you abide in me, and I in you, you'll be able to withstand and endure these things. Are y'all gonna help me? Yeah, there comes sometimes when you're gonna have to put up with some stuff. You're gonna have to endure folk that don't like you simply because they don't like you. Not everybody's cup of tea. Are y'all gonna help me? One of the things that kill me about our young folk is they want everybody to like them. They want everybody to smile at them. They want everybody to accept them. But honey, the world don't work like that. It don't work like that. You gotta get to the point to where if they don't like you, tough loss. And they lost. Are y'all gonna help me? You gotta put up with it. You gotta put up with it. It ain't going nowhere. And enduring this hardness as a good soldier, you gotta keep on going. You can't let what folks say about you stop you. You can't let the way folk act, you can't let it upset you to where you feel like throwing in the towel. You got to keep on going. You got to keep on pushing simply because you are a good soldier. Are y'all gonna help me? He said,